In our fast-paced, digitally connected world, the paradox of feeling isolated while being constantly connected is more common than ever. Social isolation is not just about the physical absence of people. It's about the emotional distance that can leave us feeling unsupported, misunderstood, and alone. Loneliness is the subjective, often painful feeling of being isolated, even when surrounded by others. Together, these experiences can affect every aspect of our well-being, from our mental health to our physical resilience. Understanding social isolation and loneliness. Defining the terms. Social isolation refers to a state where a person has minimal contact with others. It is often measured by the frequency and quality of social interactions, or the lack thereof. On the other hand, loneliness is the emotional response to isolation. You might be in a crowded room and still feel profoundly alone if the connections you crave aren't there. While both terms are interrelated, it's important to recognize that you can feel lonely even in the presence of others, or you can be socially isolated yet not feel lonely if you're content with solitude. Why we feel isolated. Modern lifestyles have introduced unique challenges that contribute to isolation. Many of us are caught in a cycle of busy work schedules, long commutes, and digital communication that often replaces face-to-face interactions. Life transitions, such as moving to a new city, starting a new job, or going through a breakup, can also create feelings of isolation, as we lose established social networks and must rebuild our support systems from scratch. Global events like the COVID-19 pandemic have only amplified these challenges. Lockdowns, remote work, and social distancing, while necessary for physical health, have left many of us longing for the warmth of human connection. The sudden disruption of our social routines can lead to feelings of loneliness, even for those who are typically very social. The impact of isolation and loneliness. Mental health consequences. Chronic loneliness and social isolation have been linked to a range of mental health issues, including depression, anxiety, and even cognitive decline. The absence of meaningful social interaction can lead to a cycle where negative emotions feed on themselves, making it harder to reach out for help or build new connections. When you're trapped in a cycle of loneliness, it's easy to fall into patterns of self-doubt and negative self-talk. Physical health effects. Beyond mental health, there's growing evidence that social isolation can have severe physical consequences. Studies have shown that loneliness can lead to a weakened immune system, increased inflammation, and higher risks of conditions like heart disease. In many ways, the pain of isolation can manifest physically, creating a feedback loop where poor physical health further isolates you from social engagement. Social and economic costs. Isolation doesn't only affect the individual, it can have broader societal implications. A community where people feel isolated is less likely to be resilient in the face of challenges. Economically, individuals who are isolated may be less productive at work or more likely to miss out on opportunities due to a lack of networking or social support. Personal stories and anecdotes. Many individuals have shared their journeys through isolation and loneliness, providing powerful narratives of struggle and hope. One young professional recalled how moving to a bustling city for a dream job left her feeling utterly alone despite the constant hum of urban life. She described endless days spent in an apartment, surrounded by the noise of the city yet feeling disconnected from the community. Her journey toward reconnecting began with small steps, attending local meetups, joining hobby groups, and eventually volunteering for causes she cared about. These actions gradually transformed her loneliness into a network of supportive relationships. Another story comes from a retiree who experienced profound loneliness after his spouse passed away. With children living far away and few social contacts, his days turned into long stretches of isolation. He eventually discovered that joining a community center and participating in group activities not only filled his calendar but also rekindled a sense of purpose and belonging. Both stories illustrate that while the journey through isolation can be daunting, meaningful change is possible with patience and effort. Strategies for coping and building connections. 1. Reconnect with old friends and family. One of the most effective ways to combat isolation is to reach out to people you already know. Reconnecting with old friends, family members, or colleagues can provide a sense of continuity and comfort. Even if you haven't spoken in years, sending a message or arranging a casual meetup can remind you that you are valued and remembered. 2. Join community groups. Look for local clubs or organizations that align with your interests. Whether it's a book club, a fitness class, or a community garden, joining groups where you can share experiences with others helps foster genuine connections. These interactions, even if infrequent at first, can slowly build into a supportive network. 3. Leverage digital communities. While nothing can replace face-to-face interaction, online communities offer a valuable alternative when physical meetups are not possible. Platforms like Reddit, Facebook groups, or even dedicated forums can connect you with people who share your interests and experiences. These digital interactions can be the first step toward forming deeper, offline relationships. 4. Develop a consistent routine. Having a daily routine provides structure and a sense of purpose. Set aside time for activities that you enjoy, whether it's reading, exercising, or pursuing a hobby. A routine not only helps you stay focused but also provides natural opportunities to engage with others, like joining a morning exercise group or attending a workshop. 5. Embrace mindfulness and self-care. Practicing mindfulness can be a powerful tool in managing feelings of loneliness. Mindfulness helps you stay present and acknowledge your emotions without judgment. Simple practices like meditation, deep breathing exercises, or even mindful walking can reduce stress and improve your emotional resilience. Self-care goes hand in hand with mindfulness. Ensure that you're taking care of your physical health by eating well, getting enough sleep, and engaging in regular physical activity. Sometimes, loneliness can be exacerbated by neglecting self-care, so nurturing your body is essential for overall well-being. 6. Volunteer and help others. Volunteering is one of the most effective ways to feel connected and purposeful. Helping others not only benefits the community but also provides you with a sense of accomplishment and belonging. Whether it's volunteering at a local shelter, participating in community cleanup events, or mentoring someone, these acts of kindness can lift your spirits and expand your social network. 7. Seek professional support. If loneliness begins to overwhelm you, don't hesitate to seek professional help. Therapists and counselors are trained to help you navigate the emotional challenges of isolation. Sometimes, talking to a neutral third party can provide insights and coping strategies that you might not have considered on your own. Overcoming barriers to connection. Recognizing and addressing negative thought patterns. Often, the fear of rejection or the belief that you're unworthy of connection can hinder your efforts to reach out. These negative thought patterns can be deeply ingrained, but recognizing them is the first step toward change. Cognitive behavioral techniques, CBT, can be helpful in challenging and reframing these thoughts. For example, if you find yourself thinking, "No one will want to hang out with me," try countering that thought with evidence from your past positive interactions. Learning to embrace vulnerability. Many people avoid deep connections out of fear of being vulnerable. However, vulnerability is a necessary component of forming meaningful relationships. Opening up about your feelings, even if it's scary, can lead to stronger bonds with others. Consider sharing small personal details with someone you trust. It might just pave the way for deeper understanding and support. Creating safe spaces for interaction. Sometimes, the environment in which you seek connection plays a significant role in how comfortable you feel. If large gatherings or noisy venues are overwhelming, look for smaller, quieter settings where you can engage in meaningful conversation. Coffee shops, libraries, or even quiet parks can provide a more relaxed atmosphere for building connections. Setting realistic expectations. Building new relationships takes time and patience. It's important to set realistic expectations for yourself and others. Not every interaction will lead to a lifelong friendship, and that's okay. Celebrate small victories. Each conversation, each shared laugh is a step toward a larger network of support. Real-life applications and success stories. Case study. Rebuilding a social life after moving to a new city. Consider the story of Maya, who moved to a new city for her career. Initially, the excitement of a fresh start was quickly overshadowed by loneliness. Maya made a conscious effort to join local groups and attend social events, even when she felt uncomfortable. Over time, she began to form connections that not only eased her loneliness but also enriched her professional life. By volunteering for community events and joining professional networks, Maya slowly built a circle of friends and colleagues who became her support system. Case study. Overcoming loneliness in later life. John, a retiree, experienced a deep sense of isolation after his spouse passed away. Despite his initial reluctance, John began attending community center activities and joined a local gardening club. These small steps gradually helped him reconnect with people his age who were experiencing similar feelings. John's story is a powerful reminder that it's never too late to form new connections, and that isolation can be overcome with persistence and openness to new experiences. The role of society in combating loneliness. Community initiatives. Communities play a vital role in combating loneliness. Local governments, nonprofits, and community centers can create programs designed to foster social interaction. Whether through organized events, support groups, or public spaces designed to encourage community gathering, these initiatives can help break down the barriers of isolation. Workplace wellness programs. For many, a significant portion of their day is spent at work. Employers are increasingly recognizing the importance of mental health and are developing wellness programs that include team-building activities, mental health days, and spaces for social interaction. A supportive work environment can reduce feelings of isolation by creating a culture where employees feel valued and connected. Digital innovation and social platforms. Technology, often blamed for fostering isolation, can also be a powerful tool for connection. Innovative digital platforms that encourage meaningful interactions, rather than superficial likes or shares, are emerging. These platforms can help people find communities of like-minded individuals, share personal stories, and offer support in times of need. Moving forward, a personal journey. Coping with social isolation and loneliness is a personal journey that evolves over time. It requires a balance of self-care, outreach, and sometimes professional help. The key is to recognize that isolation is a common human experience, and there are steps you can take to bridge the gap between loneliness and connection. Remember that every small effort counts, whether it's reaching out to an old friend, joining a local group, or even just taking time for self-reflection. Your journey toward a more connected and fulfilling life is unique, and every step forward is a victory. With patience and persistence, the fog of loneliness can lift, revealing a path filled with potential relationships, deeper understanding, and personal growth. Final thoughts. In today's world, feeling isolated or lonely does not mean you are alone in your experience. Many others share these struggles. By taking proactive steps and seeking out supportive communities, you can transform isolation into connection. Whether it's through reconnecting with loved ones, embracing digital communities, or simply being kind to yourself during difficult times, the journey toward overcoming loneliness is one of hope and resilience. Your feelings are valid, and your efforts to connect matter. Every conversation, every smile, every shared moment of vulnerability can pave the way toward a richer, more connected life. As you move forward, remember that the path to overcoming isolation is not a straight line. It has twists, turns, and moments of setback. But with determination and a willingness to reach out, you can build the supportive network that helps you thrive. If you found this discussion helpful, consider sharing your own experiences and strategies in the comments. By opening up about our challenges, we not only help ourselves but also inspire others to take the first step toward connection. Thank you for taking the time to explore this comprehensive guide on coping with social isolation and loneliness. May you find the strength to reach out, the courage to be vulnerable, and the support you need to build a life filled with genuine connection and belonging.